Second take of me trying to do this because I didn't realize I was very thirsty and I started to feel crazy. Now there's an airplane flying somewhere overhead. Right there. There's people working on a roof right near me. So if you hear banging, that's what that is. Today is the 10-year anniversary of UFO Demo. I released it on April 21st, 2013, and today is April 21st, 2023. It is literally insane that it's been 10 years, but it also feels like it's been even longer than that in some ways. I just figured I would talk a little bit about HPZ and what it has been to me over these last 10 years. When I started HPZ, I was actually starting a band with friends, and that band was Small Mammals. Or no, maybe it wasn't that. I can't remember. Small Mammals was started not long after HPZ, but one of the name ideas I had was Human Petting Zoo, and people were like, I don't really like that. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna use it for my own project. And before that, I had actually released a demo of 5 songs just under the name Rain, or Rainy, whatever. And you can find it on ukarainy.bandcamp.com, so UKURAYNE. It's still up there, and it's just 5 songs, and I wrote those songs when I was 15. And I was also 15 when I wrote UFO Demo, but those songs are from December 25th, 2012. And yeah, they're like, I don't know, kind of like indie, I guess, just like songwriting, kind of like emotional, expressive songs, teenage songs. And I wrote those and I was like, man, this isn't, even though they were expressing a thing, it was like, and I think I had actually had those songs written since I was like 14. It didn't quite feel like they were expressing things in a way that felt aligned with like really the anger that I felt. And anger has always been a thing that I've kind of struggled with. Like, it's been a emotional state of being that I have like not always understood how to express. And so when I heard, like, right when I was 15, I heard Dead Kennedys for the first time, and I was like, whoa, is this punk? Like, is this what people call punk? Because I had never known. I was like, I heard like ska, and there was some ska that I liked, but I heard like, I don't know, like pop punk. I just thought that punk was pop punk, and I was like, why are people into this? I don't like pop punk. And I heard Dead Kennedys, and I was like, this is fucking crazy. And I got super into it. And then I realized that like I could make acoustic music that was inspired by this, like, that form of expression. And so I wrote UFO Demo. And like one of the songs, Hit by a Bus, was on that very first demo that I put out as Rain. And it kind of made the cut for Human Petting Zoo. And I remember putting out that album, and then I don't know how it happened. I think like since I was 15, I wasn't like driving yet, or I was driving, but I didn't have my license. I just had my permit, and I wanted to go see Moon Bandits in Pittsburgh, which is where I live now. I wanted to go see Moon Bandits, so my mom and her husband at the time drove me and my boyfriend at the time, Scotty, to Pittsburgh to see Moon Bandits. And I like talked to the people at the venue. It was called the Vaticant. I talked to them and I was like, hey, I make music. I like just put out a little album. It's 4 songs. I'd love to play here sometime. And then like a month later, on the day before my Sweet 16, I like played a show with Kyle Hall and Amy Bruce Space Show and Mr. Denim. And I feel like everything changed from that point, because like, even if you don't know who those artists are, and like, rest in peace Matt, first of all. They were so, like, hearing Amy Bruce Space Show was such an important moment for me also. Like, their album, it's really windy right now, it feels amazing, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. But their album Self-Aware and Self-Conscious like also changed a lot for me. Like, it was just amazing. And yeah, so rest in peace Matt. Knowing them and meeting them, no doubt, like, changed the direction that HPZ was going. And so after I played that show and became pals with them, like, I ended up being put on Folkorama Volume 3. And if you don't know Folkorama, it's like a folk punk compilation. And Anxiety Song was put on it, and then it got super popular on YouTube and online. And then like Kyle Hall asked me to put out a split, and that was released in like February of 2013. And then Kyle came to play in Youngstown. Like, after they played in Pittsburgh, they came to play in Youngstown a couple months later, and we like stayed in touch. And when I did my first tour when I was 17, we went and played at this like ice cream shop or something. I can't remember what it was. It was like a frozen yogurt shop that did shows in Indiana. I can't remember where, like what city, because it was like not like a big city, you know. It wasn't Bloomington. I can't remember what it was. But it was just crazy. And then over the years, like, I ended up doing a split with my friend Maggie at the time, who went by Flower the Skunk. We've fallen out at this point, and I don't think that she makes folk punk music anymore. But we did a split, and then when we went on tour, it was the two of us touring. Oh wait, no, maybe it was the Adventure Kids. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember if it was Human Petting Zoo and Flower the Skunk, or Human Petting Zoo and the Adventure Kids. Or if we played a couple shows where both of them played, because the Adventure Kids is my friend Albert's band, and he has a different project now. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Belfry Wales. Is that what it is? I don't know. It's something like that. Hopefully I'll remember. I'll link it in the description. But I don't know, like, I played this music, and at the time it was like, it's crazy that I went on tour just a couple years after putting out, like, I think I did it in like 2014. So the album had only been out for like, or my music had only been out for like a year, and I was touring as a 17-year-old. Like, not like a year after I started making music. And now, like, I've been really considering touring, like, again, or rather coming out of retirement to tour. And my friend Obsidian, who has also made a lot of music, they are going to, so I'm playing a show on May 3rd with Pigeon Pit and Apes of the State and Michael Jumpshot Touchdown Pass and Endless Mike and the Beagle Club in Pittsburgh. It's gonna be insane. And Obsidian will hopefully be in town soon enough for it to happen, but they're gonna play accordion on my music, and I've never played this music live with anyone. There's a dog that just went by that was looking at me, really curious. But like with Small Mammals, which was like a super group of me, Scotty, our friend Mike, Brittany, and Albert, like, we all played these songs together. I only played Anxiety Song and Family Reunions. I think that was the only songs I played with this band. But other than that, and even that was like really pushing it for me, because I get really protective of my music, and like I'm trying to get out of that. Because for a long time I was like, these are my songs, no one could understand like how to play them, or like if they're not connecting with them, why would they want to play along to them? Why would they want to accompany me if they don't understand how I feel? Which is like really selfish. But also, I don't know, I'll just get really protective about my creations, especially when it's like it starts as just a thing that I'm making and not a collaborative project. It's different. Like, I've been in bands where we're all collaborating and I'm not as protective. But with HPZ and my solo music in general, I've just been very protective of like the energy, because like, I don't know, if you've ever seen me play, I'd like to think it's like an emotional experience, and if someone isn't on the same wavelength when they're performing with me, I don't think it's gonna hit. But Obsidian is on the same wavelength, and they do understand how I feel, and they have cried listening to my songs and like connect to it in that way. And so the idea of playing with them is very exciting. And so hopefully they'll get into town, and we'll have enough time to practice before this show. But even if we don't, I think we're gonna try to tour. Like, Obsidian can play their music, and I'll play my music, and they'll accompany me, and I'll accompany them. And yeah, I don't know, I'm really excited. Like, it's been so long since I toured with an acoustic project, and just the thought of it is extremely interesting and exciting to me. And I have so many songs at this point. It's like, between HPZ and Rain in the Six Star System, I have like 70 songs. And like quite a few of them I'd be down to play live. It's actually been kind of hard picking a set list for this upcoming show, because I'm gonna play 11 songs, and there's like more songs that I would play, but I don't think I'm gonna have more. Like, my set right now is 30 minutes, and I think that that's already pushing it, and I'm gonna have to ask on the day of how much time I have to play. Normally I would just play for 20 minutes, but hopefully a 30-minute set will be good. And I'm trying to not do banter, because all of my songs add up to 30 minutes. So if you've ever seen me play, you know that my banter is like a huge part of it. But I think since I'm not gonna have a lot of time to talk, I'm just going to be very intentional with what I do say. And recently, the thing that's been very important to me is the idea of pursuing what is joyful and trusting that a thing that brings you joy and brings you emotional abundance, if you put your energy into it and you put your hands where the joy is, then you will see material abundance, as in like money and means of survival come from that. And I believe that. I believe that because I've seen it to be true. Like, if I put my energy into stuff that I'm not even like, I gotta convince myself that it's a good idea, or I like gotta justify it somehow. It's like, I shouldn't be putting my energy into something that I've gotta be convincing myself. It's like almost a violation of my heart's consent. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, if I've gotta literally be convincing myself that working a shitty job that's going to exploit me is a good idea because I'll make more money and I'll get better hours, when like I could put the same amount of energy into pursuing making music and making art and tattooing as a means of survival, even if it's going to be a little harder. Maybe I'm going to have to hustle a little bit. It's like, I'm obviously going to choose the thing that makes me genuinely happy, that I'm actually interested in, and that brings me tons of joy. And like, I guess this is relevant to HPZ in the sense that, like, I don't know, some people have messaged me and been like, I wish I could do what you do. I wish I could make music. And I'm like, if music makes you happy, like genuinely, if music brings you joy, you should pursue it. Like, you should just do it, because, and I've said this in like a songwriting video that I made a couple years ago now, like, all I'm doing is writing songs about my experience as a human being. And that is something that everyone can relate to, and that is why music is what it is to the world. It's because we are speaking on experiences that we've all had, because we are all human beings. So, like, it was never a question for me whether I was gonna make music. It was just, how am I going to allow it to be heard? Because if I'm creating, and like, if I'm creating and no one's hearing it, it can just be for yourself. But you would be surprised when someone hears it and all of a sudden your song is like connecting to thousands of people, and like, these people are telling you that this song helps them to have a better perspective on life and to be excited to keep going. Like, anyone can do that. Anyone can write a song that makes someone feel less alone. And I, like, literally believe in you, that you can do it too. And I didn't necessarily have people telling me that when I started making music when I was 15. But I just felt that if I didn't make music, like, it was not going to be a good time for me. I was, like, seriously having bad thoughts as a 15-year-old and feeling really alone. And making this music, even just expressing these feelings, made me feel way less alone. Even just expressing it to the universe, because it's like I'm making a thing and it's going out to the universe. The universe hears it. Even if like 5 people hear it, those are people just like you that are hearing it and connecting with you. And it's fucking amazing. So yeah, I feel like HPZ saved my life in a lot of ways and gave me a thing to nurture, and that thing is my heart and myself. When I nurture my heart, when I give it what it needs, which is usually rest, creation, and space, like, everything in life falls into place. And I don't know, if you can find that thing that you fucking love doing, that's super joyful for you, even if it's not music, it could be carpentry or like cooking or fucking anything. The thing that brings you joy, that energizes you, something that doesn't drain you, it's energizing to do this thing. Like, that's where it's at. That's where your energy should go. Don't try to commit to some bullshit you literally don't like, because then you're creating the reality for yourself that you don't want. Like, I believe it is as easy as following the joy. And like I said, it might be harder for a while to do that. But if you can find that joy, that spot, then fucking pursue it and dedicate your life to it and nurture it. Cultivate it. Not trying to give like life advice, but it's genuinely like the best advice I could have gotten as a 15-year-old, is to do what you love, and don't feel pressured by adults around you to do something that you literally don't like. Like, I'm a school bus driver now. I'm around kids all the time that are like, well, I guess I'll do this because it makes a lot of money. And I was like, does it make you happy though? Does the idea of doing that like make you happy and excited for your future? And they're like, I guess. And I'm like, dude, what do you actually like? You like video games? Why don't you go to school for video game design? Why don't you learn how to do the thing that you love? You know? Like, I wish that I had adults in my life as a child that were telling me that. Which I did. Like, my parents were always encouraging me. There were other adults that were like, you're never going to be able to make it a living as an artist. You're never going to be able to pursue art and have it be meaningful. And I was like, fuck you. What do you know? You never did. You are projecting because you were told that. You believed it so much that now you hate your life because you don't get to do a thing that you love. And now you're telling me, a child, that same thing that someone told you when you were a kid. Okay, so now you're just repeating a cycle that sucks. So if I had not followed my heart, HPZ wouldn't have ever happened. If I had not given myself space to express my feelings, I'd probably be like a fucking accountant or something. No offense to accountants, but I personally don't want to be an accountant. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't find math and taxes joyful. I find making music joyful. But if I had not followed my heart and my feelings, I might be doing something that I literally don't want to do. Something that just makes money. If accountant life is joyous for you, then pursue that. And bring that joy to other people and help them to get their shit together. Like, anything can be the thing that brings you joy. Just a matter of finding it. I feel like I'm giving a life lesson right now. But maybe this is what I need to be hearing. And that's why I'm expressing it. Yeah. But it's crazy to have an album that's 10 years old now. And to have it be so loved by so many people is crazy. Literally never ever thought that a song about having anxiety and hating yourself when you're alone, a song that I can't even relate to now, a song about being a people pleaser, a super anxious people pleaser, just trying to love yourself, like, of course that's going to resonate with people. Of course everyone has felt that way. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of you have. And it's sad sometimes to hear that people relate to it, because I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. You should go to therapy. But really what you should do is just find the thing that brings you joy. Even if you're fucking so depressed, there's gotta be something. Like, there's one thing. Even if it's literally just taking a walk. You can't necessarily make a living out of taking a walk, but you can at least get to a point where you find other things that you like to do that bring you joy and that bring joy to the people around you as well. And just share your gifts with the world, with the universe. That's literally what you're supposed to do with them. Yeah, here's what I've been doing this whole time. If anyone was wondering. Just digging on the dirt. So yeah, I guess this is it. This is the whole video. I have some splits coming out. I took down the short, YouTube short that I made about looking for artists to do splits with, because like 5 people hit me up and I didn't want anyone else to hit me up because this is like enough workload for now. Once I put out these splits, I would probably open up the video again and see if more people want to do it, because it's like an interesting challenge and motivation for me to put out music with other people. And I had a lot of like visual artists hit me up too, and it's really cool, and like I'm super stoked to work with everyone who hit me up. But yeah, so music is on the way. If you're in Pittsburgh or the surrounding areas and you feel like, oh well, actually it already sold out. There will be more shows coming, but the May 3rd show is sold out, which is nuts. I fully intend to tour. I'm hoping I can make it happen this summer, even if it was just like a week or something. It would be really, really cool. So yeah, happy 10th birthday to UFO Demo. And I hope everyone is having a lovely year so far. I hope you're all doing well, and feel free to comment literally anything, any questions, anything you just want to say. go for it. Bye.